Hi crafty friends, it's Shana from ShanoukiArt. Remember this journal I made from junk? I've lost the little gold elastic closure that I had. It's somewhere in my craft room, I will find it. Anyway, I'm going to start decorating this journal today. I'm going to use all my collected junk to decorate this journal, and I'm going to keep it as organic as possible. This decorating video is not going to be like one of those long videos that I create where I show you the entire process of decorating the journal. I am going to do it in little bite-sized pieces. As I have time to decorate it, I will record each bit and put that up as a video. So you'll get it all in installments. But as always, I will explain the process and my thought process and everything that I'm doing. I remembered I had a piece of the gift bag, the one that I used for the cover. I had a long strip left over, and I remember thinking I could use that as a pocket. So it's enough to make two. I'm going to make this one pocket to start. I've just torn it down to size, and then I did trim off the one end because there was a bit of a fold from where the bag was folded. So I'd used my trimmer to trim that off, and now I'm going to just apply some craft glue on the bottom and the two sides and stick that down. You really only need a rectangle shape for a very basic pocket. I'm just going to press that down well to make it stick. It's quite a thick cardboard that they've used for the gift bag, so I want it to adhere well. While that's drying, I'm going to work on these pages. I just take pieces and I apply them to the page and just see if it looks good and if I want to attach it. This page on the right, which is the RSPCA pamphlet, is very bright and bold. You can't really write much on that, so I needed to tone it down. So I've used my gesso just to apply a really thin layer. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do on this page, but even if I'm just writing or journaling on it, I need to be able to have some kind of lighter background that I can write on. Now, the question comes in, am I allowed to be using gesso in a junk journal made of junk? Now, no, there aren't any rules. You can do what you want, and I always say, do what brings you joy. But I was trying to be as organic as possible, so perhaps the gesso isn't a good idea. It's done now for this page. Why don't you let me know in the comments what you think, and I can either continue using gesso in other pages throughout the book, or I will just not use gesso again. Let me know your thoughts. And I know there's no rules, but I'm just getting a general consensus. I have this really awesome tag that flaps open. It's very large. The cardboard is nice and thick. It's from something that I purchased, I think from a sports shop. So I want to create this as a journaling card, but I need to be able to write on it. So I'm going to stick a piece of this green paper on. This paper was from an invoice or a packing slip that I received an order from. So I've just stuck that down with a glue stick. I'm just tearing off the excess and just leaving that as a space to write on. And now I'm going to work on the front. I want to decorate it a little bit and see how much I can do with actual junk. I have this piece of packaging from a dress pattern. It's the back part that actually has all like the sizing and measurements. That's quite light, and I think you can write on. Although the print is dark, it's quite small. So I'm going to tear a piece horizontally and stick that sort of on the left and the left bottom of the tag. I want to add a bit of color or some kind of design. So I'm just trying to see what will best fit and going through all my things so I see what I've got to work with. I've got this strip of paper, which is actually from the cover of a catalog from Kazaz. I used the front cover on the inside of my journal, but I had the strip left over. It's got some pretty colors. So I've just cut a piece and I'm going to stick that at the bottom. You always need some kind of starting point, especially when you have no idea what you're going to do. And then I want to bring through some of the green that I've used on the inside of the card so I can make it cohesive. And then I have the price, which I've taken the dollar sign off, so it's just a number. I love using numbers in my decorations. I don't have any kind of vintage ticket numbers. I have a 20, so I'm going to pop that down. A little strip of book page, and we're actually building an embellishment stack. I have a crumpled up paper bag, tear a small piece of that just to add some additional colors and layers. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to stick it down. For this project so far, I'm using craft glue and a paintbrush. Looking at this, I'm thinking I definitely need something more. So what I decided to do was take my crumpled up brown paper bag, my black fine liner pen, and I was going to hand doodle some flowers. I've done this type of flower before in quite a few of my projects. They're easy to make and they're super fun. I want them to look hand drawn and scribbly. So I'm going to draw a few and then I want to fussy cut them out and use them as my little decorations. Just having a quick look where I could possibly place this. So I move it around from the inside to the outside, just thinking and seeing what makes the most sense. I'm going to place this just behind my little embellishment stack. I had a piece of the paper bag underneath the 20, which was a bit too long. So I just sort of tore that smaller and I stuck my little flower there. I think that looks pretty cute. I'm then going to cut another half a flower and put that sort of at the bottom to create some balance. And it's a little bottom heavy, so I'm going to put the other half flower on the top left. So don't be afraid to cut up your junk into other little shapes. For example, flowers or hearts or even butterflies. It adds such beautiful interest to your project. So I'm going to attach this to the page that was the pamphlet. So in the end, I didn't even need the gesso, but I didn't know that at the time. I create as I go. I don't always have a plan. So a lot of times, yes, I do cover things up that I did in the beginning. That's just part of the process. And I believe everything is a starting point. I left everything for a bit to let it dry. And now that I'm back, I'm going to add some tags into my pocket. And I'm also going to do some journaling. I have this parking receipt. It's basically ephemera, so I'm going to pop that into my pocket. This big tag is the perfect size. I'll work on that. And then the smaller one is a good color and there isn't much writing on it, so I could use that for the pocket too. Applying glue on the one side, I'm going to apply some of the paper from the brown paper bag. It'll be easy to write on. I love the color. I love that it's crumpled up so it looks very used. And I'm probably going to use this throughout the journal for different elements, as although it's full of junk, I do like my journals to have some cohesion so they are sort of matching throughout. So if you add little bits of elements that are similar throughout, I think that brings the whole journal together. Let's pop that into the pocket and see what it looks like so far. I'm feeling the slim lighter tag is a little too long. I'm just going to chop off the bottom to make it shorter. And then also the parking receipt, I'm feeling is just too long. It's bothering me that it's not sitting nicely. So I folded it in half and placed it behind the thinner tag. I have this pink lolly wrapper, which I think is pretty cute. It's metallic. It matches sort of the pink flowers of my pocket. So I want to do something with this. I thought of maybe crumpling it up and applying it as an embellishment on the pocket. But then I thought, no, I'm just going to fold it in half and attach it like a tab to the page. I'm going to use a stapler for this. I love stapling things in a journal. I just love the aesthetics that gives. And I really love this tab. I think it looks so cute in the pink. It matches my floral pocket, and I have found a way to use a lolly wrapper in a journal. I have this cute little strip of scrapbook cardstock that's left over from another project that was probably going to go in the bin. It has little hearts on, and I'm going to just stick that at the bottom of my pocket. As I'm going to be writing in this journal, I need as much writing space as possible. I can write on the colored area at the top of the left. I don't mind the little color blocks on the right, but I want to sort of get rid of that other printed writing. So I'm just going to stick a page from an old diary. It's just a plain page, and I'm going to stick that on top to give me more journaling space. A great way to use old journals or old diaries. And like I said earlier, I like to put similar elements throughout my journal to help connect everything. So I'm going to put a little brown paper bag flower in the bottom left-hand corner of this too. When I started decorating this journal, I decided that I really wanted to journal in it. I wanted to fill the spaces, and I wanted to show you how I was going to fill those spaces. The problem is I had no idea what I was going to write about. Now, although I make journals, and I've made so many, I don't actually journal. I used to when I was much younger, but now I'm really time poor. And I know that's a terrible excuse, but I just don't journal. I really love to write by hand though, so I really wanted to add handwriting into this journal. But because I know I won't be able to get to it every day and actually write down my daily thoughts or daily activities as a journal, I'm just going to write about junk journals. So this is a Junky junk journal made of junk about junk journals. I'm going to start with the heading. This colored area on the top is perfect for a heading. I'm just doing it in pencil first just to get the spacing of my letters. I'm going to write the word junk journals, nothing too crazy, and then I'm going over it with a black fine liner. I'm going to go over it multiple times. I want it to look very hand-drawn. I don't want it to look like it's come out of a stencil, and it needs to be quite bold to be able to pop off the background color. If you don't feel that you have nice handwriting and you want to do some kind of a heading, you can always cut out words or letters from a magazine and put those together to make a word and then to make your heading. And I'm just going to put that as a note to self to do that somewhere in the journal going forward. The next bit of the video will be me mainly writing in the journal. Now, I don't think anybody wants to watch somebody writing cursive for 15 minutes, so I'm not going to show you the entire writing process. I'm going to speed it up. I'm going to cut bits out. I really just want to show you how I'm filling the spaces. But do watch until the end, because while I'm also writing, I'm adding additional elements to my pages. And I did notice then that the fine liner I used did bleed through to my front cover. Not too badly, it sort of blends in with the design, but I should have been careful with the pen I used. But we continue. I'm going to keep adding to the page as I go. On the bottom right hand corner here, I'm going to stick some used stamps that I have just to add some more interest. I'm also going to write on my tag that goes in my pockets. I want this to be jam-packed with everything. For the smaller tag, it might be too small to write lots of words, so I'm just going to write one word. I'm going to write the word inspire. You could use it for a quote or just a sentiment or even just one word. I do the writing on a spare scrap of paper first just to get my spacing. And then using the same technique like I did for the heading of junk journals, I'm just going over it multiple times in a very hand-drawn way. I have a piece of like thread or string that was used for some tags on some clothing. I'm going to cut a piece and just put that through and put it into a bow. I want to add some texture. For my larger tag, I want to add a bit more definition. I'm going to do an outline all the way around the card using the same pen. Again, just hand-drawn. I'm going to do some writing on the front of my double tag. There's plenty of space and I want to fill it up. I'm also going to add another doodle flower. And then on the inside, I'm going to use a different handwriting. I'm going to write in larger caps just to create some variety. I want to find something to stick at the bottom underneath the wording. I have this from the old scrapbook that I've cut up. It's just a little picture of some paper crafts that write the word memories on. I'm going to stick that on. I'm leaving the spiral end that's on the one end just to add something different. On the left, I'm going to add this little gift bag. It's actually from overseas and it's going to make a great pocket. I'm going to attach this with some double-sided tape. And then you can fill this little gift bag with anything you want. I'm really happy at how this is looking so far. But that is all I have time for to work in this journal today. I'm so excited to sit down again at my craft desk and work on some more pages. I really hope you enjoyed this video of me decorating my Junky junk journal and that it perhaps gave you some inspiration. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.